Welcome to Year in Review, the show where we break down a year to bring you some of the most notable moments in TV and film month by month. The 90s were a decade when technology and entertainment soared to inconceivable heights. The cast of Friends felt like family, Nickelodeon slimed, and humanity welcomed the most revolutionary advancement since telephones. No, not Furbies. The World Wide Web. One year in particular gave rise to innovators like Amazon and Yahoo. While a boxing champion sold us a grill that knocks out the fat, Disney couldn't wait to be king, and Jim Carrey would star in 3 blockbusters in a row. So what was it about this year that will forever leave its mark in Hollywood and pop culture history? Let's take a trip down memory lane to find out. Here's your Year in Review, 1994 edition.
Jungle friends.
In the first installment of what would become a 3-film franchise and an animated series, Jim Carrey plays Ace Ventura, a wacky-haired detective tasked with finding a recently kidnapped Miami Dolphins mascot, a bottlenose named Snowflake.
Here, Snowflake. I've got a little snack for you.
Ace unravels a series of clues that compel him to plunge his own face and sob in the shower. Hey buddy, we've all been there.
Do not go in there. Woo!
Despite Roger Ebert writing that he found the movie a long, unfunny slog through an impenetrable plot, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was a box office win, grossing $107 million worldwide on a $15 million budget.
What do you want?
HDS, sir. And how are you this afternoon? All righty then. I have a package for you.
Sounds broken.
Most likely, sir. I'll bet it was something nice, though.
Critics say Jim Carrey's twitchy antics and gross-out humor are on full bombastic display in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, which is great news for fans of his particular brand of comedy, but likely unsatisfying for anyone else.
Smoking. I can smell it on your breath.
I was not smoking. You can't accuse me of something I wasn't even doing.
Oh yeah? Then you were sucking on the bottom of an ashtray like some pathetic and disgusting nicotine junkie.
That's better.
We all know Jason Alexander as George from Seinfeld, but did you know that he also voiced the lead role in an animated series called Duckman?
Watch it, jerk.
Who you calling jerk, you long-haired, fat-bellied, goofy, tattooed, 60s throwback village people wannabe biker freak?
Eric Tiberius Duckman, to be precise, is a widowed, self-loathing, egomaniac. Okay, maybe that's not far off from George. Only Duckman works as an LA-based PI and is, in fact, a duck. The show first appeared on the USA Network and featured a who's who list of celebrity guests like Ben Stiller, Janine Garofalo, and countless others. Everett Peck's creation went on to earn several Emmy nominations in its 4-season, 70-episode run and became a precursor to shows like Family Guy and BoJack Horseman.
We're not even ashamed to be sitting with you when you're picking at your underwear in public.
Ah, yes. Well, high praise indeed. And let me say how gratifying it is to hear it. For all I ever wanted to be was an ideal role model, a shining example of someone my children could look up to.
Critics say clever and crude Duckman's particular brand of adult humor may not be for everyone, but those looking to laugh at the misery of life will find comfort in its bizarrely brilliant, if not borderline nihilistic, commentary.
With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring I thee wed.
With my body, I thee worship.
With my body I thee worship.
And with all my worldly goods, I do thee endow.
And with all my worldly goods I thee endow.
Adorned with some winsome performances and perfectly placed one-liners, Four Weddings and a Funeral is a tale of friendship and fortuitous romance centered around, you guessed it, some weddings and a funeral. This R-rated British rom-com would slingshot the careers of Hugh Grant, Kristen Scott Thomas, and director Mike Newell. Produced with funds so tight that extras were forced to bring their own wedding attire to set, the film went on to fully transform British cinema, placing 23rd on the BFI's 100 Greatest British Films of the 20th Century. With a modest budget of $4 million, Newell's critically acclaimed hit grossed a staggering $245 million globally. It took writer Richard Curtis 17 drafts to reach a final version of this script. Critics say, while frothy to a fault, Four Weddings and a Funeral features irresistibly breezy humor and winsome performances from Hugh Grant and Andie MacDowell.
Wilma, I'm home! No, Dino, no, Dino, bad boy!
Based on the animated TV series of the same name, The Flintstones is a live-action family comedy starring John Goodman, Rosie O'Donnell, Rick Moranis, and Elizabeth Taylor in what would be the Oscar winner's final movie performance.
You know, Fred, I hear that eating too much red meat is bad for you.
What a load of bunk. My father ate it every day of his life. He lived to the ripe old age of 38.
Director Brian Levant takes us back to prehistoric suburban bedrock. We follow the age-old shenanigans of Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble as they become embroiled in the twisted business schemes of Cliff Vandercave and Sharon Stone. No, not the casino actress. Critics had a real bone to pick with this one, and it went on to win 2 Razzies for Worst Supporting Actress and Worst Screenplay.
How about it, Barn? Flintstones and Rubbles under one roof.
Yeah, but Fred, you know, it's only temporary.
It better be. It better be.
Despite the stone-cold reception, the Flintstones grossed $342 million worldwide. Critics say the Flintstones waste beloved source material and imaginative production design on a tepid script that plunks Bedrock's favorite family into a cynical story awash with lame puns.
Open your door! Open the door! 50! Stay above 50! All right?
Somewhere between bouts with surfer gangs and armies of Agent Smiths, Keanu Reeves starred as Jack Travin, an LA police officer attempting to save a busload of hostages from a wired explosive device. But here's the kicker. If the bus drops below the speed of 50 miles per hour, then it's, whoa, game over. Dennis Hopper plays a conceivingly deranged villain, but the most notable performance comes from a young Sandra Bullock in her career-driving role of Annie Porter. The film was Jan de Bont's directorial debut, earning 2 Academy Awards, critical and commercial success. Critics say, a terrific popcorn thriller. Speed is taut, tense, and energetic with outstanding performances from Keanu Reeves, Dennis Hopper, and Sandra Bullock.
Pumbaa, come over here. Nala, this is Pumbaa. Pumbaa, Nala.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure's all mine.
How do you do? Whoa, whoa! Time out! Let me get this straight. You know her. She knows you. But she wants to eat him. And everybody's okay with this? Did I miss something?
It's the circle of life, and it moved us all directly to the ticket windows that summer. The Lion King became the highest grossing film of the year, earning an astounding $312.9 million domestically and $850 million worldwide. Who knew that singing felines were a foolproof recipe for global domination? What's that? Oh, it didn't work for cats? Oops. Disney's 32nd animated film boasts expert voice talent from James Earl Jones, Matthew Broderick, Moira Kelly, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Jeremy Irons, Whoopi Goldberg, and Cheech Marin, to name a few. The legacy of The Lion King prances on with a direct-to-video sequel, a spin-off movie, a Broadway musical, and a 2019 CGI remake.
Hey, wake up. It's okay. It's okay. It's me.
Don't ever do that again. Carnivores
Critics say, emotionally stirring, richly drawn, and beautifully animated, The Lion King is a pride within Disney's pantheon of classic family films. Moving on to the next summer smash, Robert Zemeckis' allegorical film stars Tom Hanks as Forrest Gump, a below-average IQ sweetheart who recounts his life story to strangers at a bus stop in Savannah, Georgia. Co-star Robin Wright plays Jenny, the elusive love interest that inspires Forrest to run, his way into a slew of triumphs and tribulations. Screenwriter Eric Roth chronicles important junctures in American history as seen and lived by the protagonist. It's no surprise that in 2009, the film was selected for preservation in the Library of Congress's National Film Registry, citing its cultural, historical, and aesthetic significance in film.
What's my destiny, Mom?
You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're gonna get.
Mama always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them.
Forrest Gump took home 6 Academy Awards and was the second highest grossing film of 1994. Critics say Forrest Gump may be an overly sentimental film with a somewhat problematic message, but its sweetness and charm are usually enough to approximate true depth and grace.
I came by your office today. I was in the area and I thought that you made one day of lunch.
Really? Well, you must have just missed me.
True Lies became the first film in history with a production budget of over $100 million. Though if anyone was going to break that record, it would be James Cameron. The film stars Arnold as Harry Tasker, a secret spy leading a double life under the guise of a salesman. A salesman? Really? Look at the guy. The plot erupts when Harry's wife Helen, Jamie Lee Curtis, is kidnapped by an Islamic jihadist in possession of nuclear missiles.
It's not like he's saving the world or anything. I mean, he's a sales rep, for Christ's sake. Whenever I can't sleep, I just ask him to tell me about his day. 6 seconds and I'm out. But he acts like he's curing cancer or something.
The film earned Curtis a Golden Globe and a Saturn Award for Best Actress and ultimately grossed $378 million worldwide. Critics say if it doesn't reach the heights of director James Cameron's and star Arnold Schwarzenegger's previous collaborations, True Lies still packs enough action and humor into its sometimes absurd plot to entertain.
A spicy meatball!
Carrie's epical year slides along as he embodies Stanley Ipkiss, a timid bank clerk who stumbles upon a magical mask that unlocks the spirit of the Norse god Loki. With the mask on, Stanley oozes superhuman charm and confidence, which catches the eye of a dazzling nightclub singer played by Cameron Diaz in her film debut. Unfortunately, the masked maniac proves to be troublesome when he robs a bank and quite literally loses sight of his former self.
Eyeball glasses?
I've never seen those before in my life.
Bazooka?
I have a permit for that.
Picture of Kellaway's wife?
What? Uh-oh.
Margaret! You son of a bitch!
Jeez, I figured you had a sense of humor. After all.
You married her!
Ah! That's gotta hurt.
Get him!
Earning an impressive $350 million on a budget of $23 million, The Mask was a commercial success and became the second most profitable comic-based film up to that point. Critics say it misses perhaps as often as it hits, but Jim Carrey's manic bombast, Cameron Diaz's blousy appeal, and the film's overall cartoony bombast keeps The Mask afloat.
I'd really like to know what it was that made it so incredibly boring. Just tell me, was it too emotional, too personal, too many big words?
Shut up!
Bravely tackling social issues like child abuse, teenage alcoholism, homophobia, and school violence, My So-Called Life is unanimously hailed as one of television's greatest series. Created by Winnie Holzman, the show ran on ABC for just one season, yet it launched the career of Oscar winner Jared Leto and earned Claire Danes a Golden Globe at age 15. Critics say, effectively avoiding cliche and cheesy exposition, My So-Called Life's realistic portrayal of the average American girl is ahead of its time. This next gem needs no introduction, unless you just escaped your own version of The Truman Show, in which case, we should probably explain all the masks. Pulp Fiction is one of the most influential films of the 90s and arguably ever. This time-jumping neo-noir crime drama is credited with reviving John Travolta's career and making global stars of Samuel L. Jackson and Uma Thurman.
What country you from? What? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English, mother. Do you speak it? Yes. Then you know what I'm saying. Yes. Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, mother. Say what one more goddamn time.
The film won the Palme d'Or at the 1994 Cannes Film Festival, was nominated for 7 Oscars, winning for Best Original Screenplay, and like Forrest Gump, was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry. Did we mention that at the time it was made, it was the top-grossing independent film ever made, earning $214 million worldwide against a budget of just $8.5 million. Critics say, one of the most influential films of the 1990s, Pulp Fiction is a delirious postmodern mix of neo-noir thrills, pitch-black humor, and pop culture touchstones.
Mr. Stevens has a birth certificate, driver's license, social security number. If they ever trace any of those accounts, they're gonna wind up chasing a figment of my imagination.
Well, be Did I say you were good? You were a Rembrandt.
You know, the funny thing is, on the outside, I was an honest man, straight as an arrow. I had to come to prison to be a crook.
Years before developing The Walking Dead, Frank Darabont wrote and directed The Shawshank Redemption, starring Tim Robbins, and based on the Stephen King novella. It's the fictitious story of Andy Dufresne, a banker sentenced to life in Shawshank Penitentiary for 2 murders he didn't commit. While in prison, Dufresne befriends Ellis Red Redding, an astute contraband smuggler, brilliantly portrayed by Morgan Freeman.
Could you add this to your outgoing mail?
I'd be happy to.
Good day, sir. Good day.
Though some critics scoffed at the 142-minute running time, the film was reviewed favorably and earned 7 Oscar nods, though it didn't take any home. Maybe they should have just snuck one out in a Bible. Critics say The Shawshank Redemption is an uplifting, deeply satisfying prison drama with sensitive direction and fine performances.
Don't tell me, don't tell me. Decaf cappuccino for Joey. Coffee black. Latte. And an iced tea. I'm getting pretty good at this.
Excellent. That's good.
Good for me.
Bet you can't think of the show Friends without getting that jangly theme song stuck in your head. You're welcome. Creators David Crane and Marta Kaufman first pitched their 7-page treatment under the working titles Insomnia Cafe, 6 of 1, and Friends Like Us before ultimately deciding on the more concise version we know today. The series was infamous for its celebrity cameos, which included Brad Pitt, Kristen Davis, Alec Baldwin, Brad Pitt, Dakota Fanning, Winona Ryder, and also Brad Pitt.
God, Will, I'm so glad that you came. You look great. You must have lost,
150 pounds. Yeah, I'm gonna be in one of those Subway sandwich commercials.
With 6 Primetime Emmy wins, a 10-season, 236-episode run, and a 2021 cast reunion viewed by millions, Friends goes down in history as one of television's pinnacle achievements.
That is exactly why you want a high-quality fire extinguisher right in the kitchen.
Those flames were really big, Dad.
Yeah, turkey's funny that way.
Dad!
Hey.
What better way to ring in the holidays than to accidentally kill Santa and steal his job? Sprinkle in a few elves, rapid obesity, a divorce-turned-custody battle, and you've got the makings of John Pasquin's The Santa Claus. How jolly! The film stars Tim Allen as Scott, an ordinary man who morphs into old St. Nicholas, but soon realizes he's bitten off more candy cane than he can chew.
Look, Comet, like I said, there is nothing left. That's so weird, because I know when I did the... No! Hold it! There's no chimney here! Can you hear me? No chimney, all right?
Looking good, Dad!
You have got to be kidding.
This was the first of a financially fruitful trilogy that are essential Christmas time entertainment. Critics say the Santa Claus is utterly undemanding, but it's firmly rooted in the sort of good old-fashioned holiday spirit missing from too many modern Yuletide films.
You will not be deactivated. You're an officer on board this ship, and I require you to perform your duty. That is an order, Commander.
Star Trek Generations is the 7th film in the sci-fi franchise that continues to live long and prosper. Starring the immortal Patrick Stewart and William Shatner, it bridges the galaxy between the OG cast and the next generation newcomers. DP John Alonzo, known for Chinatown and Scarface, steals the show in what critics hailed as crystalline cinematography, which makes Generations the most beautiful Trek ever.
Captain of the Enterprise.
That's right.
Close to retirement?
I'm not planning on it.
Let me tell you something. Don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them do anything that takes you off the bridge of that ship, because while you're there, you can make a difference.
Come back with me. Help me stop Sodom. Make a difference again.
The film opened at the top of the US box office in its first week and went on to gross $118 million worldwide. Critics say Generation stands as a mediocre changing of the guard for the crews of the Enterprise, with a dull plot that sometimes seems like an expanded episode of the television series.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Guys!
Fellas, you think we could listen to the radio or something?
Radio? Who needs a radio?
Dumb and Dumber tells the tale of idiots Lloyd and Harry as they embark on a cross-country trip to Aspen, all in the name of returning a cash-filled suitcase to Mary Slappy Simon Swenson Samsonite. I was way off.
What do you think the chances are of a guy like you and a girl like me ending up together?
Well, Lloyd, that's difficult to say, and we really don't...
Hit me with it. Just give it to me straight. I came a long way just to see you, Mary. Just, least you can do is level with me. What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Peter Farrelly directed and co-wrote the script with his brother Bobby, and thanks to a worldwide gross of $247 million, Dumb and Dumber would be the first of many victories for the comedy duo. Critics say, a relentlessly stupid comedy elevated by its main actors. Jim Carrey goes bonkers, and Jeff Daniels carries himself admirably in an against-type performance.
So, who are you staring at?
You, actually. What game were you playing?
I don't know, but I think I won.
Finally, after a year of male-focused films, we wrap things up with Gillian Armstrong's version of Alcott's Little Women. The film features an all-female leading cast that includes Winona Ryder, Trini Alvarado, Claire Danes, Kirsten Dunst, and Susan Sarandon, going against an industry that producer Denise Denovi felt wasn't interested in a movie with a lot of women. It took the film an unnerving 12 years to find a studio. Critics and audiences will agree that it was well worth the wait. Little Women was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, made $95 million, and was seen by many as the definitive movie take on the book until Greta Gerwig's adaptation in 2019, which she absolutely deserved the Oscar for. Critics say, thanks to a powerhouse lineup of talented actresses, Gillian Armstrong's take on Louisa May Alcott's Little Women proves that a timeless story can succeed no matter how many times it's told. There you have it, our highlights for a year that still pulls its weight in the modern world of streaming and TikTok. Of course, we couldn't include every notable release in 1994, but you can thank Jim Carrey for hogging all the attention.
Somebody stop me!